A major shift is unfolding in the heart of Africa, one that could reshape the balance of power across the Sahel and beyond. In a bold and unexpected announcement, Chad's president, Mahamat Idriss Déby Itno, has declared the country's intent to join the Alliance of Sahel States, AES, a fast-rising regional coalition led by Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. This is not just another political move. It's a signal that the winds of change are blowing strong across the continent. For decades, many African countries have struggled under the weight of foreign influence, economic exploitation, and weak regional leadership. Promises of peace, development, and unity from larger organizations like the African Union, AU, and ECOWAS have too often fallen short. In their place, the AES has emerged as a new voice, one that speaks to the frustrations of the people and the desire for a future built on African terms. Created in 2023 through the Liptako-Gourma Charter, the Alliance of Sahel States is more than just an agreement between neighboring countries. It's a growing movement for sovereignty, security, and solidarity, a platform for nations that refuse to accept a system where decisions about their futures are made in foreign capitals. It brings together military governments and leaders who say they are tired of waiting for broken systems to work, and who are ready to take charge of their own destinies. Chad's interest in joining this alliance comes shortly after President Déby's visit to Ouagadougou in early 2025, where he met with leaders of Burkina Faso, one of the core members of the AES. That visit may have sparked more than just diplomatic ties. It likely reignited shared ambitions for a region that's long been ignored, misunderstood, or exploited by outside powers. By aligning itself with the AES, Chad is sending a clear message. It wants to be part of a new African vision, a vision where countries work together, not because they are told to, but because they choose to. A vision rooted in shared history, culture, struggle, and the belief that Africans can build strong, self-reliant nations without interference or pressure from former colonial powers. This isn't just about government decisions, it's about the hopes of millions of everyday people. Young people across the Sahel are watching closely. Many have grown up feeling left behind by their leaders, disillusioned by poverty, conflict, and a lack of opportunities. The AES is giving them something they haven't seen in a long time, a reason to believe that real change is possible. Government spokesperson Gassim Sherif Mahamat recently spoke about the deep cultural and historical ties that bind Chad to its Sahelian neighbors.
AES in itself is a wonderful experience, an experience in the sense that Africans are coming together outside of ideas that come from elsewhere, outside of advisors who come from outside, that African countries are gathering with African minds, with resources that are truly African, to establish an institution in that it is already a victory. We are fortunate to have a president who is attentive and who is protective of our sovereignty. When I say sovereignty, President Mahamat Idriss Déby Itno is protective of our sovereignty, and he wants Chad to have complete sovereignty in every respect. He started with the military aspect by sending the French soldiers away. That too falls within the framework of our full sovereignty. Now, there are other aspects of our sovereignty that need to be addressed. There is the issue of the CFA franc, all matters related to the economy, issues related to geostrategy, and issues concerning the control of our resources by our own people with our own means. And all these issues must be discussed openly, without any complexity. And I believe that the experience of the AES should be extended to other countries. And I think that would be a good thing. Maybe Chad could join the AES. That's my personal opinion. And it's something that needs to be studied, something that really needs to be taken seriously. If we want an Africa that is independent, free from any contingencies, from any constraints, then we need to move towards free institutions with our own resources, with our own frameworks, with our own intellectuals who think, who reflect, and who develop institutions.
These aren't just convenient alliances, they're relationships built on shared languages, traditions, and struggles that go back generations. In many ways, Chad's move is a return to its roots, and a recognition that the country's future may be more secure in the hands of its closest brothers and sisters. As Chad steps closer to joining the AES, the world is watching. Some see it as a risk. Others see it as a powerful step toward dignity and independence. Either way, one thing is clear. A new chapter is being written in the Sahel, one that promises to challenge old systems and give Africa a stronger voice in shaping its own future. Presidential advisor Dr. Ali Abdelrahmane Hagar recently spoke out strongly against the growing violence between communities in the region, warning that these conflicts are not random. In his view, they are carefully planned strategies by foreign powers aiming to divide African societies. He described these tensions as part of a broader neo-colonial agenda meant to keep the continent weak and dependent. According to Dr. Hagar, these aren't just local disagreements, they are signs of outside interference designed to destabilize the region. His warning reflects a larger mission behind the AES to bring African countries together in resistance to foreign control and build a future based on independence and cooperation. Chad's commitment to this goal became clearer on May 13, 2025, when Gassim Sharif, the Minister of Communication, publicly confirmed Chad's desire to join the AES. This move carries huge weight. Chad, with its history of strong French influence and its central location in the Sahel, could shift the regional balance if it officially joins the alliance. Its addition would increase the AES's combined population to over 100 million people and expand its territory to more than 5 million square kilometers, making the bloc not just more powerful, but more united in purpose. More than anything, Chad's interest in the AES sends a clear message to the rest of the continent. Africa's future lies in unity, not submission. The AES, made up of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, has become a symbol of hope and strength for many Africans who are frustrated by decades of exploitation and failed leadership. The alliance was formed in response to a wave of military takeovers between 2020 and 2023, as leaders and citizens alike lost faith in governments that were too closely tied to Western powers. These governments had failed to stop rising poverty, allowed extremist groups to spread, and stood by while foreign companies drained Africa's natural resources. In just 2 years, the AES has made major changes. It expelled French troops, broke away from ECOWAS, took control of major industries, and began laying the foundation for a united regional economy. For many Africans, these bold steps have made the AES a real alternative to the status quo, a challenge to the system that has kept Africa poor and dependent for generations. At the center of this movement is Burkina Faso, led by Captain Ibrahim Traore. At only 35 years old, Traore has become a symbol of modern Pan-African leadership. His leadership goes beyond politics. It's about restoring pride and control to the people. In a powerful speech, Traore said, "We do not ask that anyone intervene to affect our destiny." That one sentence captured the spirit of the AES, a movement determined to choose its own path. Under his leadership, Burkina Faso has reclaimed its gold mines, invested in farming, and boosted local industries, proving that self-reliance is possible. Mali and Niger have also followed this path. Colonel Assimi Goïta in Mali and General Abdourahmane Chiani in Niger have both pushed to take back control of their country's economies and resources. Niger, for example, has become Africa's fastest-growing economy and the third fastest in the world, after reclaiming its uranium industry from French company Orano. Meanwhile, Mali has reported stronger military success against terrorist groups since ending its partnership with French forces. countering earlier claims that local forces wouldn't be able to handle security on their own. Burkina Faso has also made strong progress in agriculture and small industry, thanks to Traore's focus on local development. But the AES's victories aren't just about numbers or military power, they also carry deep meaning. In February 2025, the Alliance unveiled its own flag, a powerful new symbol of its shared vision, an Africa that stands tall, united, and in control of its own future. The new flag of the AES carries deep meaning. Set against a green background, it represents the region's growth, rich natural resources, and hope for a better future. The map at the center shows Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger as one united land, with no borders between them, a symbol of their commitment to unity and renewal. But the vision of the AES goes far beyond symbolism. Plans are already in motion for a shared currency, biometric passports, and a combined army of 5,000 troops. These bold moves are part of a strategy to break free from Western control and build a strong, independent regional bloc. Inspired by this vision, even countries like Togo have shown interest in joining, drawn by the benefits of economic cooperation and access to its seaports. One person who stands out as the face of this movement is Captain Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso. Since coming to power in September 2022, he has quickly transformed the country from a struggling state into a source of pride and resistance for Africans everywhere. Traore is not just a speaker, he is a doer. His leadership combines clear purpose with practical solutions, setting him apart from many leaders who talk about African unity but fail to act. Traore has openly accused foreign governments of supporting terrorism in the Sahel to keep the region unstable and dependent. His accusations have been echoed by others, including activist Arikana Chihombori Kwao, who also claimed France was involved in arming extremist groups. Instead of backing down, Traore has taken action, removing French troops from Burkina Faso, building new partnerships with countries like Russia, and reclaiming control of the nation's gold industry to benefit its people. What makes Traore so popular, especially among the youth, is his honesty and bravery. He speaks to their dreams of a better, more self-reliant Africa. He's not part of the old system of corruption and foreign dependence. A political analyst noted, Traore not only has a vision, but also the military support to protect it, something past leaders like Thomas Sankara did not. Through his leadership, Burkina Faso is investing more in farming, securing international support where needed, and aligning with other leaders who share the same goals. On social media, many praise his meetings with figures like Vladimir Putin and Nicolas Maduro, seeing them as steps toward a stronger and more independent Sahel. Traore's style of leadership offers a new model for the continent, one focused on the people, proud of its independence, and committed to tearing down the old systems that have kept Africa weak. He has refused to give in to pressure from regional bodies like ECOWAS, the African Union, or former colonial powers. As one user wrote on X, the AES is only going to grow, and Traore is at the heart of that momentum. His vision of a united and sovereign Sahel has struck a chord with young Africans everywhere. They see in him a leader who reflects their hopes for freedom, dignity, and a real chance at building their own future. The rise of the AES has exposed the failures of many African governments and embarrassed leaders who have long put foreign interests ahead of their own people. For too long, African leaders have worked as stand-ins for Western powers, allowing their country's wealth to be taken while their citizens suffer in poverty. The African Union, which was meant to be a symbol of unity, has often been slow, ineffective, and too reliant on foreign funding. ECOWAS has also faced criticism for punishing countries like those in the AES, simply for choosing a different path. In contrast, the AES has taken action where others have not. Burkina Faso reclaimed its gold industry, Mali forced foreign troops out, and Niger took back its uranium sector from French control. These decisions have brought billions back into local economies, showing that African nations can govern themselves and manage their resources. These real gains have highlighted how little the AU and ECOWAS have done to actually defend African interests. Instead, many see them as part of the very system the AES is trying to break free from. The rise of the AES has put many corrupt African leaders in an uncomfortable spotlight. While leaders in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger have inspired mass public support, especially during their formal exit from ECOWAS on January 28, 2025, many heads of state under the AU can only watch from the sidelines, unable to spark the same enthusiasm. The AES stands out because it focuses on real results, stronger economies, improved security, and true cooperation between neighbors. This is a sharp contrast to leaders who hold onto power through unfair elections and foreign support, offering little more than empty promises. Presidential advisor Ali Abdelrahmane Hager has warned that the violence seen between different communities often has outside influences. These divisions, he says, are stirred up by foreign powers trying to keep control. While AES nations are actively rejecting this kind of interference, other African leaders have looked the other way, or even quietly allowed it. This difference is what makes the AES so appealing. It's closely aligned with what ordinary Africans want: peace, fairness, and self-respect. Africa has long been rich in resources, but poor in development. Decades of foreign exploitation have seen billions of dollars in profits taken from the continent, while poverty still affects more than 40% of people in the Sahel region. The AES has made it clear that it wants to change this. Its goals taking back control of natural wealth, removing foreign military forces, and bringing countries together are exactly what a new generation of Africans is demanding. That's why the announcement from Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger to leave ECOWAS, shared during a live broadcast on January 28th, was so powerful. It wasn't just a political move, it was a rejection of a group many now see as too close to France. People are supporting the AES because it offers something different: self-reliance, dignity, and a real plan to build Africa from the inside out. The alliance's push for a shared currency, open borders among member countries, and a united military force shows that it's focused on practical change, not just talk. Young people in particular see leaders like Captain Ibrahim Traore as true role models. When he said that today's terrorism has its roots in imperialism, many young Africans felt he was speaking a truth they've always known, but rarely hear from those in power. The AES's refusal to bow to Western sanctions and its growing partnerships with countries like Russia have only made it more popular. Many see the West as the source of Africa's suffering, and the AES is breaking free of that system. The alliance's progress also shatters an old myth that African countries can't grow without help from the West. In just 2 years, AES nations have proven that idea wrong. They've seen real gains in their economies and improved safety without relying on foreign troops or aid. This has sparked pride across the continent on social media, in the streets, and in the minds of everyday people from Dakar to Nairobi. More and more Africans are beginning to believe that unity and independence are truly possible. The African Union has spoken for years about unity and progress, but it has failed to deliver. Its meetings are full of big speeches, but little action. It has lacked the courage to stand up to foreign influence, and that's why its promises have gone unfulfilled. But the AES isn't just changing economics or defense, it's changing the mindset. By rejecting the old systems that kept Africa under foreign control, the alliance is bringing new life to Pan-Africanism. This isn't the Pan-Africanism of empty speeches, it's one based on results, rooted in people's needs, and driven by national pride. The leaders of the AES have shown that African countries can take control of their own future. They can protect their land, grow their economies, and lead with integrity. In doing so, they're not just building stronger nations, they're also challenging the AU's failure to resolve conflict, foster unity, or stand up to the powers that have held Africa back. The success of the AES sends a strong message to the AU and its member countries. Either join this wave of change or risk being left behind. Chad's recent steps toward joining the AES should be seen as a clear signal for all Africans, a call to stand behind a movement that is reshaping the future of the continent. The progress of this alliance challenges the old ways of leadership, especially those who have traded their country's independence for personal gain. It reminds us that Africa's resources, its gold, uranium, and people, can be used to benefit Africa itself, not foreign powers. Leaders like Captain Ibrahim Traore, along with his counterparts in Mali and Niger, represent more than just their nations. They are symbols of a new Africa, bold and proud, no longer willing to bow to neo-colonial pressure. As more countries take notice of the AES, one thing becomes clear. The age of foreign domination is coming to an end. From Ouagadougou to Niamey, from Bamako to N'Djamena, change is in motion. The Sahel is rising, and with it, the hopes of an entire continent. Africans must not let this moment pass. Now is the time to rally behind the AES, to support bold leadership, and to demand leaders with the courage, vision, and integrity of Traore. The revolution is no longer a dream. It is happening now. It belongs to us. It's time to come together, break free from the past, and build an Africa that is strong, united, and truly independent. The rapid rise of the AES, made up of Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, and soon possibly Chad, is a powerful wake-up call to African leaders. This new movement is showing African governments what is possible when leadership is honest and puts people first. It's also revealing just how badly old systems tied to foreign interests have failed. To move forward, African leaders need to take key lessons from what the AES has achieved. First, they must put national sovereignty above all else. The removal of foreign troops and the decision to take back control of natural wealth prove that African countries can reclaim what's theirs. For far too long, outside nations have shaped Africa's policies, while their companies made profits and African citizens remained poor. But the AES has shown that standing up for sovereignty brings real benefits. These are not just dreams, they are real results. To follow this path, African leaders must tear up unfair deals and make sure their country's wealth is used for local progress. Doing this means having the strength to resist outside pressure, including from groups like ECOWAS and other Western-backed institutions. The AES has proven that this is not only possible, but necessary. Just as important, Africa needs leaders who are honest and accountable. Many of the AES leaders have come to power without the usual baggage of corruption, and that's part of why they are so widely supported. The failures of the AU and the punishments from ECOWAS only show how far these organizations have drifted from the needs of regular people. Real leadership means ending corruption, making elections fair, and being open with the public. Only then can other African leaders gain the same kind of trust and respect that the AES commands today. The message is clear. The AES is more than an alliance. It's a warning. People across Africa are paying attention, and they are demanding real change. Leaders who ignore the examples set by Traore, Goïta, and Chiani risk losing the support of their citizens. The fire has already been lit in the Sahel, Tell us what you think about the impact of this revolutionary project and the future of infrastructure in Africa. Spread the word if this inspires you, and let's keep the discussion going. Let's celebrate Africa's ascent together, and stay tuned for future updates on the continent's growth.